I got jokes, so it don't make me no never mind who goes before me. You break something I built over 30 years, and you think it's cute, fuck you forever.
Because do you know one thing our community suffers with? Is silence. We have been taught, keep the business in the house. Don't say nothing, don't say nothing. And then there's the trauma. Because what happens oftentimes in the household, we keep it in, we don't say anything, we stay silent, and then you live your life in that trauma. So the reason why we continue to have these conversations is because we're tired of seeing our community suffering.
What's going on, man? Welcome to the Genius Club, man. And we got a lot to talk about with DL and Monique plus Sydney here. But it is a lot going on with our community, man, and that's just the truth, man. And it gets deep sometimes. You feel me? So we gonna talk about it. You know what I mean? We gonna shed some light on what's going on with the comedians and we're really these two. You know what I mean? This is what we talking about. So hold on, we gonna get right into it, man. Give me a minute. All right, so what we on now? Let's see what we want to go into. We want to go into DL, right? We want to go into DL.
We've experienced, so we can be better.
Not that.
How many times have we seen white people on Vlad? And I'm not saying there's never been any.
Damn, Vlad.
And you've said no. And you've said no.
Put this in your hand.
Where is it? I'm tripping.
And you've set no standards for yourself. That's why y'all have a problem with mine sitting next to me. I'm thankful that he's sitting next to me. I'm thankful that he says, you know what, mama, long as I'm here, you ain't gotta fight. Long as I'm here, you ain't got to. So for you black men out there, some of you, I'm ashamed of you. I'm embarrassed for you. Because when you put your mouth on a black woman and you start speaking ill of a black woman that you don't even know what you're talking about, I feel bad for the woman in your life.
And I think that's a perfect segue, Mama, into our brother DL Hugley, who I thought we extended an olive branch the last time we had commentary in reference to when his daughter spoke out. The reason why we stopped and still offered to have a conversation with him to resolve the situation was not out of fear of his daughter doing something. It was out of love for you, DL, because it would be no different than the street we came up on. You might get in a fight with little Tony down the road, but you see Tony's mama coming down the street with them bags, you better go get them bags. I'm not tripping off of what happened between me and Tony. That's his mama. That's your daughter. So we weren't going after you anymore. We weren't even going to bring you up. But you went on, what is it, Jason Lee?
Yes.
You went on Jason Lee's show. And you wanted to share what?
That I am the cause of the rift between you and your daughter. DL Hugley, because you're too afraid to sit down with us, as we've said repeatedly, hey, brother, let's have a conversation and let's do it publicly because our community could really heal on how we can resolve this. But you keep running, and then you keep running your mouth. And after we spoke on you last time, it was like, okay, cool. But when I watched you sit there with Jason Lee and you said, Monique is the reason I have a rift with my daughter, you're the reason you have a rift with your daughter, DL. Stop trying to run away from the fact that you did not protect your baby. And let me be clear with you about something. I'm fighting for your daughter. Because I was that daughter too, that had a daddy that did not protect me when I told him I was molested. So I know what that baby's sitting in, and I know what she's dealing with. And though she's a grown woman, I know the trauma that brings. And this ain't no shit that I brought to the table. You did and what you posted. What you posted. I'm getting so sick of you not taking accountability or responsibility for your words, brother. Never would I try to hurt your family, your wife, your daughter. That's not even in me.
Because she never said anything about them.
Let's talk about it. You know what I mean? From my perspective, looking at it, you know, I don't know everything about the whole situation, but I know enough. It's out there, right? Now, both of these both of these icons, basically legends to our community, the black community, right? You know, they both got certain issues, right? We all got certain issues. But I'm gonna have to lean more. I'm just gonna tell you out the gate, like, I'm still gonna have to, you know, when it comes to what they're saying in response of what DL just said on Jason Lee, I feel like their response is a little bit more valid. You know what I mean? Like, cause they making up points that don't have a lot to just do with them. You know what I mean? They talking about the community and all of this type of stuff. I like those talking points because those are the talking points that we all probably need to get into. Because a lot of people can just be selfish. I mean, you know what I mean? So, because she, you know, she like, man, she talking about helping the community. She talking about, and me personally, I feel her on that. Like, our families, our community, our culture, we do hide all this shit. I remember I was growing up, my mama, they didn't, you know, my mama, my whole family didn't say too much about what was really going on. So now I get out here, I'm in the world, it's like, damn, how can motherfucker ain't, you know what I mean? Motherfucker ain't putting me up on game. So I believe you should talk about it. And yes, people do have trauma that you got to be careful and walk around, but them two are comedians. You know what I mean? So it's a thin line. But man, let's get to let's see what DL Hugley was on, man. Is this the one?
Show started out that way because people, black men, saw what Skip Bayless did to Shannon Sharp on Undisputed.
Yeah.
And we wanted him to know we got you. And my problem with it is that the very men who appeared on that show, when it wasn't as huge as it was, did it out of a sense of trying to help a man out. And everything they said was curated and basically used against them in another interview. That's problematic for me. I think that Wendy Williams didn't get off air. She just got a weight set in a list. I think that's how messy it is. And you know, not him, because he's my I was a huge fan of the Denver Broncos. I followed him even when he went to the Ravens. He's one of my favorite NFL players. I do not like, and I would never go on that show, not because I don't like him. I do not want to be asked about the bullshit that happened before me. I don't want to have to comment on that. I don't want to have to fight about that.
But what was it, the Cat Williams show that it changed? Because that's when I noticed.
I don't know. I can't. I think that undeniably that's a phenomenon. Undeniably.
Okay, so he was talking about which is ironic to me. This is another thing that I was saying about his talking points, right? You say you don't want to be messy, but then you on Jason Lee. Then you talking about Club Shay like Jason Lee ain't messy. You know what I mean? And y'all, listen, y'all gotta let people be who they are. That's what they own. Like, but it's some valid points that he make also, right? And I fuck with DL Hugley. But at the same time, you kind of contradicting yourself to me because you on Jason Lee talking about you don't want to be messy. Now let's get to another clip because I believe he was pretty messy.
Who missed it? Do you want to say what did he say?
Well, here's what I will say.
Yeah.
That whatever was said is not for me.
Yeah.
Whatever was said opened up a wound in my daughter that we're arguing about right now. I've never had much in my life, but the love of my children I've always had. And something jeopardizes that, I can never forgive you for it. Just for some bullshit.
And the interview wasn't even intended for you, so
how did he work?
What was that even interview about? I mean, was it just?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I can't tell you what it was about. I can tell you this: that before it happened, I knew it was happening because my daughter called me. My youngest called me and like, this is gonna happen, and she's in therapy and crying because she knew that people are gonna automatically know about what had happened to her before and what, and it makes it just. I'll never forgive you for that. That I gotta that now I'm in a compromised situation.
So, you know, people go through trauma. We all go through trauma. We all have it. But guess what? You got to talk about it, though. You know what I mean? Talking about it and people understanding it more, meaning you're going to heal more. You know what I mean? Meaning that you can get over it quicker. Everybody can, you don't know who going through the same shit. Monique just sat there and said she went through the same shit so she can understand. But when she was coming up, didn't nobody talk about it. So I gotta disagree with him, you know, hey man, listen, I got shit going on in my life, motherfuckers see it, hey, bring it up. Shit, you can't be, listen. And I would teach my daughter that too. I would teach my kids that. I would teach people around me that. Like, people gonna bring up things. Take it in stride. Like, it may fuck you up for a minute, but then, you know, more people can understand. It might help other people. And I believe it'll be way better because our culture don't talk about shit no way. So I believe that that's gonna be way better. You do that. Let's see what else he said.
Put this in your anger. You on a show, somebody says something to you, you don't like it, I kill it. I say yes to a gig, I shouldn't say yes to you. You get mad about a contract. I wouldn't take a gig if I didn't know what the deal was. I should have took the gig, but I didn't. And I will never let somebody put me in a position where I'm not who I am. I will always take the L for somebody I believe in.
When you take a gig with somebody and it's your gig, where do you go? How do you go after that person? You go before that person. So why does that, was that her ego?
I can only tell you this. Everything I've said is what I believe to be true. Everything else is something else. And the only reason I'm talking about this is because I hate it coming up as a narrative when somebody, if you can say yes or no, you are the fucking person that the contract is based on. If she didn't need me to say yes, we're not having this conversation.
Right.
I never need to work with her. Never. I never need, well, she's on tour with Kat. You know why you can be on tour with Kat? Because you're available. You couldn't call me right now and say, go on tour with me. No, nigga, I'm booked. So let's be clear. And I think there's so many people who are just as angry and fucked up as her that she's their Ahab. But she has done horrible things to a lot of people for no reason at all. And all those people did was try to help her. What am I guilty of? Saying yes? What am I guilty of? Telling you I would work with you? What did I do that was so horrible that you dragged my fucking daughter's business through the goddamn streets? What did I do to you? Besides believe that you deserve the chance. Is that a horrible thing?
But I think it's the very thing that makes us as a culture go, I ain't fucking with y'all.
Right.
You know, and which is the bad.
And it makes